Hello, everyone. Hello. Can you hear me okay with this thing? Hi, my name is Nick Backus, and I am the director of two groups in one. We have our alumni group, and I guarantee you can guess who our alumni are. And also we have a class with some of our younger students. And what makes this, to me, a very old school way of learning is that our experienced musicians help our first year players. And we blended in wonderfully this year. So it's, like I said, I'm quite sure you're going to enjoy the concert. That was from Neil Hefney, Little Darling, a great Count Basie piece. And that was Peter Yee. Give him a round of applause for that. It's a great introduction into a class. I said, Peter, you got the first solo. Welcome to Macomb. We're going to do pieces from a variety of the big band artists that I grew up with. This next piece is, I heard it with Buddy Rich. And Don MENZA was a saxophone player with his band and wrote this wonderful piece. And keep your eye out on the saxophone section because they have a great solo section. That means they're all going to play together. This is called GROOVIN Hard. And here we go. One, two. This is my hard part. I got to introduce people. They're waiting to figure out, there's a bet going on what name I'm going to mess up. So I might lose some money when this is all over. Okay, let me start with Will Sprang on alto. Yeah, give him a round of applause. Jim Hines sitting right next to him. Stefan Sadowski right there with the baritone. He has a great solo coming up. And Katie Pacheco on tenor sax. This next piece, in my day, I remember here in Maynard Ferguson when I was 17, it was just an amazing group. And you're gonna hear a piece called Coconut Champagne. And we're gonna feature some of our artists. And the recordings you hear is one of our Detroiters, Greg Bissonette. So here we had a lot of Detroit musicians that were on the road at that time. But anyways, it's a wonderful piece, a little Latin thing we're gonna do for you. Coconut Champagne. drummer, Don DePace. Yeah. Nick Calcaterra on Latin. We have Royce Brown in the very back playing piano, and he has some great solos. And Izzy, you're going to hear in a few minutes. Izzy Savitas is a wonderful bass player. Please give her a round of applause. All right, okay, you win. This is a great one. Nice little shuffle. Way the big band hero. That's it. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. The next piece is a classic standard. In jazz, in our jazz world, there's certain pieces that everybody knows, and that's how we can sit in so quickly. When you get called for a job, you might never see this same band for another year, but there's these great jazz standards, and this next one is called Blue BOSSA. It's written by Kenny Dorham. Everybody has played it. I thought I'd give you a couple names, but the list was just too long. So we're going to feature, listening to all the players, we have a wonderful bass player, and I said I wanted to feature Izzy on a little bit of this. But we're going to feature everybody. Everybody has solos, and I hope you enjoy it. Here we go. It's okay, you got to stay right there, Izzy. If that's you, I'll make some room. All right. That's all right. Will Sprang's going to do this next solo. George on My Mind. It's a great piece, and he's a great player. But before that, I want to introduce my trumpet section. And I always get the one guy who gave me his alias to give his name, and I thank you, Jim Torrento. I'm not giving the alias. All right, there you go. Jacques Lapierre, Dan Fredericks, and Peter Yee. Give him a round of applause, please. Once again, a lot of these songs we just have to know, but there's different arrangers. That's the new unique part of it. So we're going to play a couple things, and I'll go over, when they came out, and everybody knows George on Your Mind. Okay, so anytime you're ready, sir. Will Spring. Will had a really cool hat he was going to wear. I told him he couldn't do it. And he says, well, we'll see what happens. But I think he's okay. Let me introduce someone in the audience. Mr. Cook is here, Tom Cook. And everybody give him a round of applause. Tom just retired. He's been the head of this group for, I think about 7 years, but he's been at Macomb for over 50. And Tom was the one who had original keys to the original locks, and he still has them. But anyways, thank you so much, Mr. Tom. It's, I'm glad I can continue the tradition. And that's all it is. I'm the person. It's funny, when you go through all the music, and I've seen, as I posted this on Facebook, how many of my band director friends have said, I remember conducting. Craig Strain conducted. He said, I really had great memories. Ellen Bowen was a choir director. She had great memories. So right now, I'm just kind of keeping it going. This next piece, Boblicity, came out in the 50s. Bop music came out in the 40s with Charlie Parker, Dizzy Gillespie. It's what we teach in college. It's the hardest music, so we learn it. And then every 10 years, for whatever happened, something changed. Same with rock and roll. Every 10 years, something new was going on. So if you were around in the 70s, you had Louis Armstrong still living, all the big bands, all the rock groups. It was an amazing time in music. But in the 50s, something else came about to be cool. West Side Story, I think, is coming out with Stephen I'm sorry, who put it out, but West Side Story is coming out again. And we all know what it is to be cool. And that's what this, so this piece that we're gonna play was a piece from Miles Davis, Gil Evans, and it was an album called The Birth of Cool. What a name. Birth of Cool. It's called Boblicity. Here we go. publicity. Let me introduce our trombone section. Ryan Schaefer, Larry Huntington, and Bobby Rodriguez. And Larry was also at one time the director of this group. So one of you are going to probably be the director of this group one day. So I'm glad you're here at this performance. This next piece, my fiance's here. Bethany's over in the corner. So when I would show up, her father would play this song for me. He goes, just 4 songs. One was always Green Dolphin Street. I must have heard it 100 times, but I always act like it was the first time I heard it. Like, wow, that was beautiful. Next time I show over and want to hear another song, Green Dolphin. So, but we're going to do it, and with a wonderful arrangement, and I hope you enjoy Green Dolphin Street. Or I should say, on Green Dolphin Street, to get the name correct. 1, 2, 3, 4. I talked to Todd Moses before we did this concert. I said, you can't have a holiday concert without the Macombers. You gotta have the Macombers. I mean, when they're singing and they're making you feel great, so they're gonna come out and do a couple pieces. And also, isn't this the neatest setup for a jazz concert? When we told we were gonna be here, I wasn't too sure what to expect. I love it. I love it. It's real intimate and you're close to us. So right now we're gonna do a couple pieces, and let me get you guys comfortable here. Oh, I moved your stand. I don't think I have to introduce these two next pieces. I can guarantee you recognize them. Here we go. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1.
It winds from Chicago to LA, more than 2,000 miles all the way. Get your kicks on Route 66. Through St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, and Oklahoma City is mine. Missouri and Oklahoma City looks mighty pretty. You'll see Amarillo, Gallup, New Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona. Don't forget Winona, Kingman, Barstow, San Bernardino. Won't you get hip to this time and tip when you make that California trip? I'm dreaming of a
The next few that we're going to do are just American classics, American songbooks. And when I try to, tell the younger students coming in, this is the stuff you get called for a party, and these are, everybody knows them, and maybe a different arrangement. So we have a series of really cool pieces we're going to play for you right now from the American Songbook. Here we go. Ba-dum-bum-bum. One, two, three. While I speak, we're going to give my trumpets a chance to rest for this next one. So many great standards, great songs were written in a half hour. They just put them together, and for some reason, the audience said, yep, this is the one we're going to keep. Chestnuts, Roasting on an Open Fire by Mel Torme, and lyricist, I'm going to get this right because he deserves a lot of credit for this piece, is Robert Wells. And Mel Torme will tell this story when he said, if you catch it on YouTube every once in a while, he says, if you're my age and older, you remember the days without air conditioning. And when you said it was hot, it was hot. But we didn't know any better. We just opened up the window and went outside. So he was talking a story. He's writing with Wells. It's in New York. He goes in his apartment in New York, and it's hotter than you know what. And then he says, looks on the table, and there's some lyrics, you know, chestnut roasting on an open fire. And it's kind of going on like, and he goes, hey, what is this about? He says, I am just so hot, I'm going to write about winter, and maybe this will cool me down. And he said within a half hour, they have the classic. So we're going to be featuring Jack, and I hope you enjoy. Here we go. The Christmas song. Joe Garland was an arranger around the Glenn Miller days, Benny Goodman, the big band in the 30s. And what he did was he took pieces from the past and he put it all together and came out with a classic, In the Mood. There's other In the Moods. There's Artie Shaw, he had an In the Mood. The melody came from another song. But in those days, you can get away with that. And it just became, if I said I played it 10,000 times in my career, I have, and everybody enjoys it. So this is 1938, Glenn Miller, In the Mood. And by the way, before we move on, I'd like to thank everybody. This is the most unusual concert and time in our lives because I don't know if anybody's going to show up. Because, you know, we've been having a lot of people missing, but our health comes first. But at this one moment, we have our band here, so please give them a round of applause. Yeah. They did all the work. Yep. And Eric's in the back with his crew running sound and stage. Thank you, Eric. Please give him a round of applause. And Tom Cook said, I got a number for you. I want you to call my friend Art from Shelby Township cable station, who's recording this. Please give them a round of applause. Thank you, gentlemen. We appreciate it. Here we go. In the movie. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.